Okay, so the next set of calculations that we have that the book talks about is mass volume relationships. So you're comparing, what you're trying to do is you're looking at the relationship between mass and volume. So one of the things that we would do, so here's an example from one of the worksheets that I gave you for practice. It says, how would you prepare 25 milliliters, okay, of a 2.5 gram per milliliter solution. Whoops, the cat just jumped up on the cat jumped on the thing. That's the cat's toenails. Okay, sorry. Okay, so we need to figure out how are we going to make this. So we know we need to make 25 milliliters of it, and we want it to be grams per milliliter. So the first thing I'm going to do is, okay, I need to figure out how many grams of salt I'm going to put in. So it's a salt solution. I forgot to write that down. Okay, so sodium chloride is salt. So how many grams is it going to take? So I know I want 25 milliliters. Okay, so that's something I know. And I want it to be 2.5 grams per milliliter. That's the concentration. So all I really have to do now is I can cancel out the milliliters. Okay, and then I just multiply 25 by 2.5 grams. So what is that? 25 times 2.5 is 62.5 grams of salt. So what you would do is you'd weigh out 62.5 grams of salt, and then, but that's a lot. Is that right? That seems like a lot. But that's right. It's not good. This isn't a realistic problem because it's not going to dissolve. Okay, so you take 62.5 grams of salt and you'd bring the volume up to 25 milliliters. Okay, so you'd bring it up, and then you would that's how you would make that solution. So let's do another one. Let's say we need to make, let me go to a new slide. Maybe. Now can you hear the cat purring? Okay, so let's say I want to make a liter. Okay, so I want to make a liter of a solution of, let's say it's just sugar. And I want it to be 5 grams per milliliter. Okay, but I want a liter of it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to notice is I have liters over here and I have milliliters down here. So I have to get them to be the same. I have to get them to be the same unit in order for the calculation like we just did to work. So one of the first things I'm going to say is, okay, I know there's 1,000 milliliters in a liter. So I can just say, I can make it simple and change liters over here to milliliters. Okay, so I have to figure out how many grams I want again. Okay, and I need a liter, which is the same as 1,000 milliliters. Okay, and I want it to be 5 grams per milliliter. Okay, and once again, I went over the top. So this would be 5,000 grams is what it would take to make this solution. And that's too much. I mean, 5,000 grams that's a lot of sugar. There's no way that would go into a liter. So I went over I kind of made it kind of goofy. So you wouldn't do that in real life, but that's a good example of how you would practice. Okay, so do another one. Let me find another example. Let's see. We could do one that's in the solution set. So if I need to make, this one's kind of tricky, but let's go ahead, we'll try it. Okay, so how many grams of agarose? Okay, so agarose is a chemical that we use to make a gel so that we can run DNA on a gel. We can do electrophoresis. Okay, so it's a powder, it's white. It actually comes from seaweed. Okay, so how many grams of agarose would it take to make 20 milliliters of a 15 milligram per milliliter agarose solution? Okay, so when I look at this, what do you see? Okay, so we got milliliters and we have milliliters, so that's okay. We're going to be fine. But over here I have grams, and over here I have milligrams. Okay, so we could calculate it out in milligrams, and then at the very end, fix it to convert it to grams. Okay, so let's do that. I'll show you how to do that. So X grams of agarose equals 20 milliliters, right? And then we're just going to take 15 milligrams per milliliter. Okay, and of course I didn't give myself enough space to write with the stylus, but 20 times 15, okay, and I can cancel these out. So 20 times 15 is going to be, what, 3? Yeah, my math skills. At the end of the day, 300 milligrams. So you'd weigh out 300 milligrams, okay, and you would add 20 milliliters of solution to it. Okay, now we're asking for this in grams, so how are we going to get to grams from here? So the best way I know of to do this, okay, is say, okay, I have 1,000 milligrams in a gram. Okay, so I can go like this, and I can say I have 1,000 down here, and I have 1 gram up here. So I can cancel out my milligrams. So 3,000 divided by 1,000 is going to give me 0.30 grams. Okay, so that's how you would solve that. So I'm gonna save this, and then I'll make another one.